2 decades later, in a different country, in a different war, I stared down the scope of my sniper rifle atop a mountain in Afghanistan. My sniper team had been sent to the Afghanistan-Pakistan border to scout infiltration routes where Taliban fighters were suspected of crossing back into Afghanistan. We hiked up the mountain all night, our 120-pound pack swaying heavily on the jagged and broken terrain. As the sky in the east began to lighten, we tucked ourselves in behind a rock outcropping, the best cover we could find. We hoped our position would conceal us at daybreak. It didn't. A farmer spied our heads bobbing above the shallow rock outcropping as the village beneath us woke to start their day. We'd been spotted. Of course, that didn't change the mission. We kept watch, tallying the movement we could see up and down the road in the valley below. And we waited. It wasn't long before we had company. A young girl of maybe 5 or 6 headed out of the village and up our way, 2 goats in trail. Ostensibly, she was just herding goats, but she walked a long, slow loop around us, frequently glancing in our direction. It wasn't a very convincing ruse. She was spotting for Taliban fighters. We later realized that the chirping sound we'd heard as she circled us, which we took to be her whistling to her goats, was the chirp of a radio she was carrying. She slowly circled us, all the while reporting on our position. We watched her, and she watched us. She left, and the Taliban fighters came soon after. We got the drop on them. We spotted them moving up a draw in the mountainside that they thought hid them from our position. The crackle of gunfire from the ensuing firefight brought the entire village out of their homes. It echoed across the valley floor and back, alerting everyone within a dozen miles to our presence. The Taliban who tried to sneak up on us had either run or were dead, but they would return in larger numbers. The crowd of villagers swelled below our position, and they didn't look friendly. If they decided to mob us, we wouldn't have been able to hold them all off. "Scharre," my squad leader said. "Call for exfil." I hopped on the radio. "This is Mike 1-2 Romeo," I alerted our quick reaction force. "The village is massing on our position. We're going to need an exfil." Today's mission was over. We would regroup and move to a new, better position under cover of darkness that night. Back in the shelter of the safe house, we discussed what we would do differently if faced with that situation again. Here's the thing. The laws of war don't set an age for combatants. Behavior determines whether or not a person is a combatant. If a person is participating in hostilities, as the young girl was doing by spotting for the enemy, then they are a lawful target for engagement. Killing a civilian who had stumbled across our position would have been a war crime, but it would have been legal to kill the girl. Of course, it would have been wrong, morally if not legally. In our discussion, no one needed to recite the laws of war or refer to abstract ethical principles. No one needed to appeal to empathy. The horrifying notion of shooting a child in that situation didn't even come up. We all knew it would have been wrong without needing to say it. War does force awful and difficult choices on soldiers, but this wasn't one of them. Context is everything. What would a machine have done in our place? If it had been programmed to kill lawful enemy combatants, it would have attacked the little girl. Would a robot know when it is lawful to kill, but wrong? The decision. Life and death choices in war are not to be taken lightly, whether the stakes are millions of lives or the fate of a single child. Laws of war and rules of engagement frame the decisions soldiers face amid the confusion of combat, but sound judgment is often required to discern the right choice in any given situation. Technology has brought us to a crucial threshold in humanity's relationship with war. In future wars, machines may make life and death engagement decisions all on their own. Militaries around the globe are racing to deploy robots at sea, on the ground, and in the air. More than 90 countries have drones patrolling the skies. These robots are increasingly autonomous, and many are armed. They operate under human control for now. But what happens when a Predator drone has as much autonomy as a Google car? What authority should we give machines over the ultimate decision, life or death? This is not science fiction. More than 30 nations already have